Because sometimes the greatest freedom comes when we stop hiding and we start living authentically. This is who I am. Not a phase, not a rebellion, not a mistake, not a disappointment, just me. And that makes some people uncomfortable. I can live with that. What I can no longer live with is apologizing for existing. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of belonging. And not because someone approves of me, not because someone agrees with me, but because I am human. I was told I was loved until I told people who I was. I've heard those words more times than I can count. It's a phase, it's a choice. You'll grow out of it. I love you, but I don't agree with who you are. People told me they loved me. People told me they would always be there. People told me family is forever. Then I came out. I knew when I was 5 years old, not 25, not 15, 5. For years, I carried this story. Eventually, I wrote it down. My faith, my identity, my truth. For a long time, I felt like the black sheep. No matter how hard I tried to fit in, no matter how much I tried to make everyone else comfortable. Because if love is real, should it come with conditions? What is your definition of love? This is my truth. This is my story. And this is Breaking the Silence. Every voice has a story. Every story has a moment. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, author Nikki Nicole. Tonight's conversation is called I Love You, But.
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't into wasting time. They can come close, but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
Every voice has a story. Every story has a moment. Welcome back to another Motivational Monday. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole, and today's episode is different. Today's episode is a little personal for me. Not because I'm talking about someone else's story, but because I'm finally sharing mine. For years, I've heard people say, I love you, but I love you, but I don't agree with your lifestyle. I love you, but I don't approve. I love you, but that's not how God intended it. I love you, but every time someone says those words, what I hear is that their love comes with conditions. What many people don't understand is that coming out isn't easy. It isn't easy at all. It isn't something most people wake up one day and decide to do it. For me, I knew when I was 5 years old, not 15, not 25, but five. But I couldn't tell anyone. I grew up in a very spiritual family. I grew up around faith, traditions, expectations, and strong beliefs. I knew what people would say. I knew what people believed. I knew how people would react. So I stayed silent for years. Carried that silence longer than I had to or needed to because I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to embarrass my family. I didn't want to become the topic of the conversation. I didn't want to be the black sheep. But eventually, silence became heavier than my truth. When I finally came out, everything changed. I mean, everything. Some friendships ended, some relationships shifted, some family members treated me differently, some people looked at me differently, some people stopped seeing me and started seeing me for me and started seeing me as a label. But what hurts isn't that people disagree. What hurts is when the same people who taught you about love suddenly places conditions on theirs. But before we go any further, I want us to look at three words that are often used in conversations like this. The word choice. Let's talk about the word choice. What does choice mean to y'all? Well, Webster says choice fundamentally refers to the act, opportunity, or power of selecting an option from two or more possibilities. For example, I have no choice but to walk. Hmm. A lot of people say that you choose to be gay. I often hear that. It's a choice. It's a choice. They've told me that over and over again. But if choice means selecting between options, then I have to ask, when exactly was I presented with those options? Because I don't remember choosing who I was attracted to any more than I chose my eye color, my height, or the family I was born into. Right? We don't choose those things, right? Okay. Let that marinate a minute. Let's move on, y'all. Let's talk about when people tell you that, oh, it's a phase. You're going through a phase, right? A phase is a distinct stage, period, or aspect in the process of development or a regularly recurring cycle. It can refer to a physical states, a matter, steps in a project, or a temporary behavior stages, right? This is what Webster says, right? Hmm. People told me this was a phase, but a phase doesn't last decades, literally. I remember the day that I came out. February 27th, 2001 was the day that I came out. But a phase doesn't stay with you from your childhood into your adulthood. A phase comes and goes, right? What I experienced wasn't a phase, it was self discovery. It was understanding who I had always been. But I decided to stay silent about it. Now let's move a little further, y'all. Let's talk about the definition of love. What does Webster say about love? Love is a complex emotion characterized by deep affection, attachment, and care. It encompasses a wide range of strong and positive states from the intimate romantic passion to simple everyday pleasures. Beyond the emotion, love is often described as a selfless commitment and action that prioritizes another's well being. True love is a selfless, committed bond rooted in a mutual respect, trust, and the last word for me, acceptance. Acceptance. I can't make this up. That's Webster. Notice the definition doesn't say agreement, it doesn't say approval, it doesn't say conditions. Love is not control, love is not conformity. Love is not requiring someone to become who you want them to be before they are worthy of being cared for. Love is see someone's humanity even when their journey looks different from your own. So when people say, I love you, but I often wonder if what they're describing is really love or acceptance with conditions. I've had people tell me they love me, but they don't accept who I am. I've had people tell me it's a phase. I've had people to tell me it's a choice. But let me ask you this question. Who would you choose? Who would choose to be ridiculed? Who would choose judgment? Who would choose rejection? Who would choose losing friendships? Who would choose having family members look at them differently when they're still the same person? Who would choose becoming the conversation everyone whispers about? But let me go back a minute. Talk about phase again. Internal phase of self-discovery means processing your feelings. I was going through this, y'all, for years. Processing my feelings, right? The hiding phase. You're choosing to conceal your truth for safety or comfort. Nobody wants to hide all their lives, who they truly love or who they truly are because of what people feel about them. Nobody. I tell you what I did choose. I chose honesty. I chose authenticity. I chose to stop pretending. And while some people see that as rebellion, I see it as survival. But let me tell you what I struggle from. What I struggle to understand is there are plenty of things people do that I don't agree with. There are decisions people make every day that I wouldn't make myself. There are lifestyles, choices, habits, and behaviors that don't align with my beliefs. But I don't stop loving them. I don't stop respecting them. I don't stop showing up for them. I don't stop seeing their humanity because their life belongs to them, not to me, just like mine belongs to me. Love isn't an agreement. Love is love. Accepting doesn't mean you have to become someone else. It means recognizing someone's humanity even when they're different from you. I know some people listening won't agree with everything that I'm saying today. And that's okay. This episode isn't about forcing agreement. It's about understanding. It's about compassion. It's about recognizing that every person deserves dignity, respect, and freedom to live in their truth. For so long, I felt like the black sheep. I still do. For so long, I felt like I had to prove my worth. For so long, I believed that if I worked harder, accomplished more, loved harder, served more, and became better than I was yesterday, people would finally accept me. But acceptance isn't something you earn, and love shouldn't be something you audition for. What many people don't know is that I shared this journey in my book, Camouflage. And Camouflage, I may not tell all the pieces of the story to save face, but I tell my story of growing up, hiding parts of myself, struggling with acceptance, navigating faith, family, identity, and ultimately finding the courage to live in my truth. That book isn't just my story, It's for anyone who has ever felt like they had to hide who they are in order to be accepted. It's for anyone who has ever felt unseen, unheard, judged, rejected, or misunderstood. And if you'd like to read more about my journey, Camouflage is available now. You can purchase it at btsproductionstudio.com. Because sometimes the greatest freedom comes when we stop hiding and we start living authentically. This is who I am. Not a phase, not a rebellion, not a mistake, not a disappointment, just me. And that makes some people uncomfortable. I can live with that. What I can no longer live with is apologizing for existing. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of belonging. And not because someone approves of me, not because someone agrees with me, but because I am human. You don't have to understand someone's journey to respect it, right? You don't have to agree with someone's life to love them. And if your love comes with conditions, maybe it's time to ask yourself if it's really love at all. This is my truth. This is my story. And today I'm finally breaking the silence. But to anyone out there that's struggling to freely come out and be themselves, stop hiding. Who is supposed to be in your life is going to be in your life, whether you're straight, gay, lesbian, whatever your situation is in life, they're going to be there regardless. They're going to love you without conditions. So don't be afraid no more. And what I love about this generation when it comes down to the community, they are more free and more truthful in who they are. Back then, you couldn't come out so easily. You had to tiptoe out. You had to hide in that closet for as long as you felt comfortable until you was ready to turn that doorknob and come out that closet because you wasn't so sure if it was safe. You didn't know if you was going to lose everything you had in life. Now, I'll never forget, it was one interview, y'all. Now, for so many years, I dressed up. When I say dressed up, I dressed up feminine. And I went to these interviews in heels and stockings and a dress, you know, all the way jewelry, everything looking feminine, right? I would get the job, yes. And I thought one day, I said, I'm going to just be myself. I'm going in here as me, the way I dress. So I put on a polo shirt, put on some khakis, had my resume in hand, went in, and guess what? I still got the job. But I was more confident than ever sitting in front of this person being myself instead of barely walking these heels, feet hurting, hot, uncomfortable to get a job. But when I finally realized that, hey, I could be me, I'm gonna walk in here as me and I'm gonna get this job, and it worked. I was like, you know what? I'm free once again. There's levels to this. It's levels to this. So knowing that I can be me to get a job, that opened another door for me to be me. So don't be afraid to be you. Don't let nobody define you. That has stuck with me for a long time. A church member of mine told me a long time ago, don't let anybody define who you are. And that stuck with me forever. I was a kid when she told me that. And to this day, I'm still using that as fuel to keep going, to keep being me, to not let nobody, and I mean nobody, stop me from getting to the levels that I want to be in this life or judge me or look at me differently. There's a lot of things that people are doing in this world that people can consider sins. But at the end of the day, no sin is greater than the other. We all out here trying to be the better versions of ourselves, trying to be the person we always dreamed of being. But I just want to close by saying this. If you are that black sheep, if you are that person that's struggling to find yourself, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm still finding me. There are still pieces out there of me that I'm still looking for. And it took me all my life to realize that certain things are not worth responding to. Sometimes you have to just not react to certain things. But I'm free, I'm proud, I'm grateful to be here, to be able to express just this to you and to tell you my story. And this is just the iceberg. This doesn't even touch it. But one day coming soon, I will tell my full story for y'all. So until next time, y'all, hang in there. Hang in there. We got this. Keep speaking your truth. Keep living in your truth. Keep unleashing your inner voice. Later, everybody. Before you go, I want to hear from you. What is your definition of love? Leave your answer in the comments below. And if you'd like to read more about my journey, check out my book, Camouflage, available now at btsproductionstudio.com. Thank you so much for watching. And remember to unleash your inner voice.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space. That'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate. But I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward. Chase my goals and focus more towards it. Hate the lows, but I need those to flourish. Place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me. Breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me. And now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nikki Nicole, let's go. Promise you gon' see better days. Gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better days. You gotta keep going till you see them.